Tinubu, Agbero's, and Lagos elections, the uncomfortable truth. I'm Ojukwu Helen and welcome to In Focus. This question and topic is a very sensitive one, and we will look at why some of these questions are popping out and why things work the way they do. One question that refuses to go away is, what exactly was Bola Tinubu's role in Lagos Agbero system and how did it affect elections in Lagos State? Let's deal with facts, not fear, not party loyalty, and definitely not social media insults. First of all, what is Agbero system?
If you are a yellow bus driver in Lagos, you might be confronted by people asking you for money at the bus stop. They are called Agbero. And as a bus driver, if you refuse to pay an Agbero person, this is what you get.
In simple English, Agberos are transport touts, originally helpers to motor parks who evolved into powerful unions, controlling parks, levies, and sometimes violence. Over time, this system became institutionalized under bodies like the National Union of Road Transport Workers. This did not start with Tinubu. It started decades earlier in colonial era Lagos, in unemployment, and in urban chaos. But history didn't stop before 1999. Now let's talk about the Tinubu era from 1999 to 2007 and what changed. When Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor in 1999, Lagos had weak policing, massive youth unemployment, violent control of motor parks, and daily clashes among tout factions. Tinubu faced a choice every Lagos state governor would face, and that is confront the Agberos violently or manage them politically. He chose management. Tinubu chose management. Now, let me tell you how Tinubu managed the Agberos. Number one, through political incorporation, not elimination. So instead of dismantling the Agbero structure, Tinubu administrations recognized transport unions, regulated their leadership, used them as informal order managers, and integrated them into local political network. In Nigerian term, there is a saying which states, if you can't scatter them, structure them. And that is exactly what Bola Ahmed Tinubu did, which in turn reduced open street wars, although temporarily, but it came at a cost. Number two, from street touts to political machines. Under this arrangement, Agbero leaders gained protections, motor park became political territories, union loyalty became electoral currencies, and by the mid-20s, transport unions were no longer neutral, they were political. The election consequences in Lagos. Now, this is where the problem begins with. Number one, the election day intimidation. Across multiple election circles in Lagos, motor parks doubled as voter suppression zones. Opposition strongholds reported harassment. Voters avoided polling units near parks, not because of soldiers, not because of the police, but because area boys they there, and everyone understands that language. Number two, mobilization for politics, not civic duty. Agbero networks became ready-made foot soldiers, crowd mobilizers, enforcers of party dominance. If democracy is about free choice, then intimidation poisons it. No ballot box needs to be snatched when fear does the work. Number three, long-term normalization of political thuggery. Once political actors realize violence works, they repeat it over and over again. Successful Lagos elections inherited this structure. Regardless of who was the governor, Tinubu did not invent election violence, but his era normalized the political usefulness of Agbero networks, and that is the key point. Now let's look at the people that benefited and the ones that lost. Let's be honest, Nigerians respect honesty more than praise. So let's start with the beneficiaries. Political elites who gained control of grassroots muscles benefited from this. Union leaders who became untouchable benefited from this. Party structures that won election with street insurance benefited from this. Now let's move to the losers. Ordinary Lagos voters, young people trapped in talk culture, democracy itself lost to this. If elections require fair management, then votes are no longer fully free. Another question that lingers in people's mind is, did Tinubu intend this outcome? There is no evidence Tinubu publicly ordered election violence, but leadership is not only about intent, it is about system created and sustained. When informal power is rewarded, it grows. When violence is tolerated, it evolves. Now let's get to the big picture that most people don't see. The Tinubu's Agbero strategy, did it reduce chaos short term? Positive. Did it help political stability for incumbents? Positive. But did it entrench informal violence? Negative. Did it weaken electoral credibility? In other words, negative. It solved today's problem by creating tomorrow's crisis. Let's move to the classic Nigerian governance and the question that accompanies that is, can this system end? Not easily, because Agberoism now feeds on youth unemployment, political patronage, weak law enforcement, and until elections stop rewarding intimidation, the system cannot survive. Because in Nigeria, what works will always be repeated. Now to our final clarity, and the questions are, did Tinubu create Agberos? No. Did it eliminate them? No. Did it political management of Agbero straighten a system that later harmed Nigerian election? Yes. That is so positive. It's a yes for that. That is not an insult, although it is the history. It is an history. And history do not belong to APC or PDP or any political party for that matter. It belongs to the truth. This is Copper News, where clarity defeats propaganda. So stay tuned.